fellow degens. Welcome to the Pay the Man podcast. Spoiler alert. We provide the worst possible picks on the internet. Featuring your favorite hosts, Jay Grimm and Jay Wiz.
We are back. Look at this fucking crew.
Nice.
Jay Grimm, Jay Gwiz, Pay the Man pod. And there we go. 2022 football season. We're here. We're here and we're going to do it big. We're going to do it big. We're going to do it big. What's going on, Wiz? How you been?
Some would say season 2.
Some would say season 2. Some would say the rest of season 1. But look, season 1's in the past. The future season 2 and beyond.
Yeah, but I mean, bigger and better this season,
Exactly.
More units, more episodes. Let's just do what we do,
Exactly. So look, episode 1, season 2. We're gonna do a little preview. We're gonna start in the AFC East. You pick a
Okay,
team.
so
Pick a team. Let's go.
well, right off the bat, let's just say the division. Let's say the odds. Okay, that's what we do here. So the Bills to win the division are minus 220. Obviously, well-deserved favorites. Odds favorites to win the Super Bowl. Then you got the Dolphins plus 450 to win the East. Pats plus 500, and then the Jets dead last plus 2400. So we got the Bills at over under 11.5 wins. What do you think about that total?
11.5 wins. You gotta figure who's gonna contend with them in the East, the AFC East. I think they sweep the division. So what is that? 6-0 right there. That's 6 wins. I think they beat the Jets twice. They beat the Dolphins twice. Honestly, they're gonna beat the Pats twice too. Can they come up with 6 wins out of their division? What's their schedule looking like?
I know they play the NFC North.
Oh, here we go. So they got the Rams week 1. We know that. That's prime time. That's Vegas. But first 2 games, Rams Titans. Can they get one there? I think they could beat the Titans. The Rams. So even if you don't say they beat the Rams, that's another win. That's 7 with the Titans. They're gonna beat the Steelers in week 5. Then they play the Chiefs. Oh, they got your boys week 8. I mean, look, that number, I like that number a lot. Just looking at this schedule, I like 11.5 a lot. They're gonna beat the Bears. They're gonna beat the Lions, the Browns. Yeah, they're gonna win at least 13 to 14 games and shit. No bullshit.
Yeah, I agree with you. The thing that I'm upset about with Buffalo is you were able to get them to win the division minus 180 a couple weeks ago on FanDuel. Now they're bumped up to minus 220. I think the only way, honestly, that they don't win this division is if Josh Allen, knock on wood, gets hurt. If he stays healthy, I think this team is primed for a Super Bowl run. I think picking up Von Miller, a guy who really helped the Rams get that Super Bowl last year. He made some big plays late, and I think he's an acquisition where you don't need him to, be an every down rusher for you in the regular season. He's a guy you want in the playoffs where he could, if he makes that extra play for you against the Chiefs, now you're in the Super Bowl, But I agree. I think this offense is lights out. I think Josh Allen's going to be an MVP candidate. And honestly, I think the Jets will be a little better, but I don't think they're much of a competition. I think the Pats will probably be worse. I think they overachieved last year. Of course, you got Bill Belichick. And I know the Dolphins, they go out and get Tyreek Hill. They got Waddle and all these guys, but they have a big question mark in Tua, and until you have that quarterback position figured out, which the Bills obviously do, I mean, it's going to be tough to win that division. And it's kind of crazy because, the Pats were doing it for so long with Brady, and the Bills were the bottom team, and now the roles kind of flipped,
They also didn't lose too many big names last year. I mean, look, they lost Jerry Hughes, but Levi Wallace to the Steelers. They also got an up and coming guy in Gabriel Davis. I remember he had what was it 3 touchdowns in that Chiefs game? And I
It
read
was
a couple
4.
articles looking at him from our redraft league, and they're saying he's the best pass catcher on the team right now, besides obviously Stephon Diggs. But
Well, I also saw today, uh, Von Miller put out a post or whatever, and Odell said, "How's your locker next to you looking?" So imagine
I
they
don't.
get the Odell reunion with Von Miller that helped the Rams win the Super Bowl in
Uh,
Buffalo.
I really don't
Um,
want to see that. I would love to
and,
see it for the Bills fans, but I love my old Dell back in Los Angeles.
and here's the other thing with Buffalo. Here's the other thing with Buffalo. They select a corner in the first round, but more importantly, they get Tre'Davious White back because he got hurt towards the end of last
Yeah.
season. So now you get him back, pair him with another first round corner. I mean, their secondary should be better as well. But
If I
another team
remember,
I want let but
I was gonna say, if I remember correctly, they also got Saffold. They brought in a new guard that can just fucking beef up this team even more. It's another big improvement.
right. But a team I want to touch on is the Jets. Okay. Um, I don't think the Jets are going to win the division. I don't think they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot. But their over under is 5.5 wins. Okay. Now let me ask you this: do you think they could beat the Pats?
Absolutely not.
Really?
I don't think so.
You don't think they could split it? You don't think they could take a game away from New England? Split 1-1?
I don't look at MetLife as such a fucking big fucking um home field advantage. I don't know. I really don't think they could beat the. I think Bill Belichick just. I mean, look, it is the National Football League. We've seen crazy games. Could they split? Of course. Will they? In my opinion, no. Zach Wilson would have to play the
Listen,
lights
I'll
out.
be honest with you. I think the Jets have a better roster than the Patriots. Now they don't have the coaching advantage, sure, but I think they have, you know, they have uh they're better offensively. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, you bring in Brees Hall. I mean, who's the pass receivers? You know?
No.
Um I think the Jets could take a game from them. I think they could take a game from Miami, at least split. That's 2 wins right there. Now they're playing the Browns week 2. Deshaun Watson's probably not going to be playing in that game. You think? I mean, I give him a real chance against the Browns in week 2 without Watson. Um, then they're playing Pittsburgh. I think that's a winnable game, possibly. I think Pittsburgh. Um, no matter who's their quarterback, Mike Tomlin's going to have them ready. It's going to be a tough game at Pittsburgh, but I think it's a winnable game. Then they play the Bears, who I think is going to be a bottom 3 team in the league.
Yeah, you're right. The
And
more and more you say,
they
you're
play
right.
Detroit. They play Detroit. I think Detroit will be a little better, but it's a winnable game. Jacksonville, winnable game. And Seattle, who I also think is going to be a bottom 3 team this year with Geno Smith or Drew Lock. So that's about 6, 7. That's about what 7, 8 winnable games. I think they can get to that 6, 7 win mark. I do.
That would be big because there's a bet out there right now for over 6.5 between a couple of the fellas.
Like I'm not saying they're gonna go out there and win 10 games, make a play. I'm not saying above 500, but I do think 5.5. I think they could get there.
5.5
So
for the Jets after going 4-11. They got Sauce. They've been making improvements. I mean, look, Barrios is gonna come in. He's gonna. I don't know. 5.5.
the big question mark of the Jets is I feel like they put all the right pieces in place for Zach Wilson. Now you're gonna find out, is he the guy? He's got to take that leap from last season. You got him as a real running back in Brees Hall, a guy who could carry the load. You go out and get him another receiver opposite Elijah Moore. You know, um,
I feel like
but anything you want to say?
one more thing about these Jets. I've heard through the grapevine that people are comparing this Jets team to the Bengals of last year. How they were very underrated going into the year, and they just caught flames late, and Burrow played out of his mind. And look what that took him.
Yeah, but do you think Zach Wilson could be Burrow?
No, but it's just
I'm not saying the guy doesn't have potential, but and also the the Bengals don't have the Bills in their division.
that is
You
also
know,
true. That is also true.
um, but I get it. I get it. I'm sorry to take away your little point there.
Look, it didn't come from
But I
me. I
think we
saw a couple of people talking about it.
but I think we pretty much covered the AFC East. If you want to go down to the AFC North here.
AFC
So
North.
the odds for the North is we got the Baltimore Ravens plus 160, the Bengals plus 180, the Browns plus 300. Obviously, a big question mark there, and then Pittsburgh dead last at plus 950.
Stay away from that. Stay away from Baltimore because we know we can't. They can't win the big game. This is the Bengals division to lose. If you had to ask me, flat out, no research, no anything. It's the Bengals or fucking nothing. Personally, I mean,
Yeah.
what
Well,
was
well,
the
the thing
odds?
with this division, Bengals plus 180 seems like good value. It, the thing with this division is it's really a two-man's race, in my opinion. Again, Pittsburgh is always going to be stingy. You got TJ Watt. They're usually always above average on defense. They got Najee Harris, DeAndre Johnson. Tomlin's always going to have them ready to go. But big question mark at quarterback. And when I'm making these bets, I like having a quarterback. I like having the best quarterback in the division. Browns, obviously, Deshaun Watson's going to be suspended 6 games. If it gets appealed, it might be longer. Whatever it is, he's going to miss significant time this year. So I don't trust them with Jacoby Brissett, whoever's quarterback. If they get Jimmy G, things get interesting a little bit because he could be a little bridge quarterback for them. But to me, this is a two-man's race between Cincy and Baltimore. I think the big thing for me is with Cincy is everybody talks about Super Bowl hangover, right? Oh, they had a super they overachieved last year. They're due for regression. I don't really believe in that because I think from last year they made a lot of improvements on that offensive line. And that was the big thing last year was they couldn't protect Joe Burrow. Now they go out and upgrade. I think they got La'el Collins. They
Kappa,
went out and they
Alex
what's his name?
Kappa, Alex Kappa.
Yeah, and they got three upgrades on the offensive line. And if you give Burrow time with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and Joe Mixon, that offense is going to be a high scoring team, probably, a firepower offense. And Baltimore from last year, I mean, listen, injury riddled. They still were, in the mix before Lamar got hurt. I think they're going to be in the mix, but at the end of the day, the thing with Baltimore is they're going to have one of the best running offenses in the league. With Dobbins and Gus Edwards and Lamar. But the question is, when Baltimore doesn't have a lead or they're a possession or two behind late in the game, can Lamar make the throws? Who's their receivers? Andrews is great, but they don't have a true receiver one. And are they going to be able to, compete in high scoring games against teams like Cincinnati and some of those higher scoring teams? So I agree. I think Cincy here plus 180 is good value.
That's definitely the play. And this Baltimore team definitely lost a big part of their offense in Hollywood Brown. So they're gonna see how when Mark Andrews is gonna catch the ball in
Yeah.
every time.
Because he
It's the
was their
Bengals
deep
division.
threat.
Exactly. It's the Bengals division to win. I see no one else being a threat. Honestly, I don't even rule Baltimore as a threat due to the simple fact that come late in the year, like you said, they can't win the big game. They can't.
Yeah.
Let's jump over to the South. I know a couple people want to hear our take on this one.
So the South Colts are actually favored minus 120. You got the Tennessee Titans plus 165, Jacksonville plus 750, and Houston Texans plus 2,500.
Okay, so you can rule out the Jags and you rule out the Texans. They're not gonna threaten the Colts or the Titans at all. It's not even worth. I mean, what was it, Tyrod Taylor? Fucking, oh, they lost Tyrod.
Davis Mills.
Okay, that my point exactly. And the Colts, Matty Ice. What were the Colts?
Minus 120.
Minus
Favorites to
one
win
twenty.
the AFC South.
They
Yeah.
got Matty Ice, Stephon Gilmore. They got better from last year. Pittman Jr. still there. They got guy. I mean, is Jonathan Taylor going to be able to run the ball like he did with Matt Ryan being there this year? Is that going to be enough for them to? I feel like the Colts have the Titans number, right? That's who it is. It's a Colts versus Titans for the division at one point throughout the year.
Right.
So when it comes down to it, who this Titans team?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. How much of an upgrade do you think Matt Ryan is from Carson Wentz?
I think it's going to change their whole offense. I don't think Jonathan Taylor should be the 1-1 in some of these fantasy football redrafts. That's just my opinion.
Really?
I think that Matt Ryan's going to throw the ball like he did in Atlanta, and it's just not going to be good.
Who do you think is the number one pick?
It's good. You're stupid to not go Dalvin Cook and McCaffrey. Give me McCaffrey healthy for a full year.
But that's the thing. Could he be?
That-
Could, you got to take that into account. Could he stay healthy?
I think
know,
it's honestly so worth the risk. It really is, because he's out there doing things that some of these running backs would never do. Najee
I mean, dude,
Hines,
Jonathan Taylor was running for 2,000 yards,
it's not going to happen anymore. Carson Wentz is not there. Matt
and
Ryan,
he hit 18 tuds.
Matt Ryan can actually throw the football. Matt Ryan's going to air it out to fucking guys like Mo Alley Cox and Pittman and these guys. And I feel that Najee Hines is going to be that guy to play third down snaps. It's just not going to be good. I don't want a guy like that.
So you're saying Matt Ryan's an upgrade, so that's going to
That
take
answers
away
your
from
question.
Taylor's
Yes.
running ability.
Correct.
Okay,
I think Matt Ryan is an upgrade to this Indianapolis.
I agree. So you think they win the division, or
Let's get into that real quick. Titans. They got Bobby Woods. Lost A.J. Brown. Lost Julio. Lost Saffold. Did the fucking Ryan Tannehill's going to get them nowhere. You got to bring in your first-round pick quarterback, top 10 quarterback, Malik Willis, right? And he has to be the guy. It's just
so this is the thing for me is the Colts were supposed to come in last year and do big things and win the division last year, and they had a chance to make the playoffs last year in the last week of the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were big favorites. I had them in a parlay that year, and they blew it. They blew it. Now they go out and say, you know what, Carson Wentz isn't our guy. Too many bonehead decisions. We want a guy who listen. He might not be MVP Matty Ice from 2018, but he's going to come in. He's going to be our game manager. We have the best running back in the league. We don't need him to be MVP Matt Ryan. We just need him to be smart with the football. And I think with the rest of their roster, defensively, Darius Leonard, they bring in Stephon Gilmore, Yannick Ngakoue. You know, they upgrade the rest of their roster, bring in a veteran quarterback. I like them to win this division. Minus 120, not much value, but I think Tennessee, I really do. I think they're going to regress a little bit. Like you said, the quarterback is a big question mark. You know, maybe they get off to a bad start. At what point do they say, you know what, let's give Malik Willis a shot? Because like you said, a week before the draft, he was a first-round grade. And then the other thing, they get rid of their best receiver. So now you have a quarterback you don't feel confident about, and now you take away his number one receiver. So what does that say? The other thing for me is Houston. I mean, over under 4.5. Do they get 5 wins? I don't see it. You know,
I know.
I think they're the number one pick last year.
Everything
next year.
under in Houston.
Now let's just get into the best for last here. AFC West. Kansas City plus 155, Chargers plus 240, Denver Broncos plus 260, and the Raiders plus 700. And I mean, whoever wins this division is going to go through murderers row. I'll tell you that much.
Say that Broncos number one more time to me.
Plus 260.
That's where my money's gonna be. Spoiler alert. All eyes are on Russell Wilson. New team, new atmosphere, Denver. It's gonna be special.
I mean, the thing with this division is all four teams very well can make the playoffs.
Yes, it's scary.
I mean, here's another thing is let me see the odds here. I want to see the win totals. Okay, so we got Kansas City over under 10.5. We got the Raiders over under 8.5. That's kind of low. Chargers over under 10. Unders plus 105. And then what's the one team I didn't say?
I don't think I heard the
Um,
Broncos. Did I hear the Broncos?
Denver over under 9.5. Over 9.5 is minus 135.
I love that number. I love that number a lot.
So
Right.
the thing with this division is obviously, I mean, you got 6 tough games any way you put it right off the bat, right?
There's no question about that.
The Raiders, I think, could be a playoff team. I think I think Carr's good. He's not great. Josh Jacobs been a little underwhelming, but I mean,
He might be on the move.
that then you bring in Devontae Adams. Obviously, you pair him back up with Derek Carr from Fresno State. You got Hunter Renfro. I think he's very undervalued in fantasy. I mean, he's like a 7th, 8th round guy for a guy who caught 100 balls last year. Yeah. Darren Waller, and then they brought in
Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones, the best.
They made a
pass
lot of
rusher
moves
from the Cardinals.
They made a lot of moves this offseason, I think, just to compete. Jonathan Hankins. They got Rocky Sin from the Colts, the cornerback. I mean, the running back room might be in shambles. I heard Josh Jacobs might be on the move. Pretty might be
Well,
on
I think that's exactly it. Is who you're going up against. And in order to win this division, you need to be able to put up points. So what do? They go get the best receiver in football. And how do you stop a number one offense? You go get them, and they bring in the best pass rusher available.
Exactly. That's gonna be so.
But
those games are penciled in for. Like I love how there's a narrative in these football games. It's big division games. That narrative plays a toll in how we bet these games. And I feel like all these AFC West games are going to be big for our fucking bet slips.
Oh, I think, yeah, I'm excited for it. But that being said, I mean, although I think the Raiders would be good, but I don't think they win this division. I don't think the Chiefs win this division either. I think the Chiefs are going to regress a little bit. You take away Tyreek Hill, and we kind of saw them struggle towards the end of last year. I know they went out and they made the AFC Championship game, but they probably even shouldn't have. I'm trying to see who else they lost a couple guys if I remember
The
correctly,
Chiefs
right?
lost Hill, Melvin Ingram, Mike Hughes, Travarius Ward, the Honey Badger, Sorensen. They lost a lot of guys.
That's another big loss, yeah.
But here's how they answered. They answered that with Deion Bush, Justin Reed, Frank Clark. They re-signed his contract. I mean, they brought in MVS, Juju on the offensive side. Mahomes is going to be Mahomes, but can that defense hold up after losing 4 guys, essentially 5 guys that were key to fucking this little dynasty they got going on?
Yeah, you said Denver. I like Denver. I think if Russell Wilson is, I've always liked Russell Wilson. I think he's a great player. I think a lot of people say he's not as good as he once was. Even if Russell Wilson's 85% of what he was on that Denver team, they're gonna go far with that roster, that run game. He's gonna get the most out of Judy. He's going to get the most out of Sutton. They're going to be a very good football team. I agree. I like that total, but I think the winner here is probably the Chargers. I remember watching that Chargers game last week of the season last year against the Raiders. Remember that game? And he was converting fourth down after fourth down after fourth down. And then we thought, wow, they might actually tie this game and they both might get into the playoffs. And after that loss, I saw something on Herbert's face, like Josh Allen, like that. Just I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win. I'm not gonna be walking off this field again, and I think he's the real deal. Another MVP candidate I could see. And what do? They go out and pair Joey Bosa with Khalil Mack. Think about that D line.
That's scary.
So
that's scary.
I think they're gonna.
I'm sorry. Did they re-sign JC? No, they got JC Jackson, right? They got JC Jackson.
Yeah.
Bryce Callahan. Bro, Herbert's gonna be the QB1 this year in fantasy.
The Chargers lost a lot of close games last year as well.
Yeah.
So
that's gonna be a great division to watch. Like I said, I'm gonna take the Broncos at what +2 something. Was it 180? What was the price?
The Broncos?
Yeah.
I think they were. Let me. They
were they in the
twos? Something. Let me check here. Yeah, I think they were in the twos. They are +260.
I'm gonna be all over.
Chargers are +240.
I might parlay that with something else, maybe on the NFC side. That episode's gonna come out right after this one. We're gonna split it up, do a little AFC, NFC.
Just for funsies. How do you rank the AFC West 1 to 4?
Ooh. Well, obviously, I'm not gonna go backwards. I'm gonna go like this: Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders.
Okay.
Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders. Yeah.
That's I could see it. I would probably swap Chargers Broncos, but and here's the thing: we're counting out the Chiefs. I mean, would it surprise you if any of these teams went first?
No, it wouldn't. But
would I be like if the Raiders won? Would I be a little surprised? Maybe, but not really. Like these teams, it's gonna be fun to watch. So
why do I feel like this was like the NFC West a couple of years ago? When the Rams,
that's another good division, but yeah.
Right. Look, we're gonna jump into that next time. We're gonna wrap this one up here. A little AFC preview, and look, like, subscribe, drop a follow, interact. Let's start doing this. All right.
Yeah, do all that fun jazz, and we'll see you in the NFC side.
Sounds good.